Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So, listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey, this is Pam Perry. Thank you for joining us today for Get Out There and Get Known podcast. And I'm here with Rodney C. Burris. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about how I met Rodney first. So he was part of, or he is part of Black Speakers Network. And so they had a takeover issue last September. That's right. And he was in this issue. So a lot of the BSN members were in here, and I did a critique on a few of them, because basically in order to get in the magazine, you need a good photo, you need a good bio, you need a good video, and you need to have your website correct and right. So I went through a couple of them and I was like, you need to get this, and this. And I realized you got to get this together. It's like, I need a speaker reel if you're a speaker. So Rodney was one of the ones that came on there, and he stuck with me. Okay. Right. So he stuck with me, and he was like, you know what? I'm not going to have my feelings hurt. She was telling me right. She loved me. She wants me to be right. And so he ended up joining Ready, Set, Go Speak program, because it's really, he was ready, set, go to speak, and he speaks well. He has a passion, but I just felt like a lot of his branding and things needed to be tightened up in order to go and speak. Media stages, superstar stages, and media places, right? So podcasts, I want him to just be everywhere that he possibly can. So that's how I met Rodney. So now I'll read you the formal bio about Rodney C. Burris. He is one of the nation's top leaders in unlocking human potential and inspiring organizations to greatness. That is him all day, every day. All right. He loves doing it. He just finished doing something the other day with that. And that's his thing. So he's raised in the city of Baltimore. Just had someone from DC area, Sharon Morton. She's from that area too. So I like a lot of that DC, DMV area, right? And Jacksonville. Rodney is the son of a hardworking single mother. Because his father often battled substance abuse, the family spent time in homeless shelters and endured poverty and domestic abuse. Despite this adversity, Rodney still earned a bachelor's degree in psychology from the Johns Hopkins University and a master's in nonprofit management from Capella University. Rodney has assisted numerous companies with team building, which is one of his favorite things to do, communication, which you'll hear he loves doing that, data evaluation, and program development. For inspiring greatness, obviously. His workshops and seminars are among the most popular in the United States and abroad. To learn more about Rodney, go to rodneycburris.com. And Rodney, thank you for joining us Out There and Get Known podcast.
Yes.
So this show, I really wanted people to understand, even though you're not in the media, you're a speaker and you're in Speakers Magazine, so that was like one of the things that I saw on your website, that you had the badge of speakers, being in Speakers Magazine. Right. Explain to people how positioning, now that you know.
Yes.
Now you know. Explain to them how positioning and all of that helps with pitching and speaking and that.
It was amazing. First of all, being able to meet Pam Perry, everybody, has been like finding something that you didn't know you needed and benefiting tremendously from it. It has been crazy. So up till now, my success has come from word of mouth. I have great contacts. I like building relationships. I like getting to know who we work with. And so because of that, people refer me. Oh, you got to meet Rodney. Oh, you got to meet Rodney. That's how I met Brian J. Olds of the Black Speakers Network, because people kept saying, Rodney, you got to meet Brian, Rodney. And when I met him, he was like, bro, people saying I need to meet you. Pam, we're going to go do breakfast next week. He's been a great contact. Well,
that's him. That's Brian.
That's Brian right there on the cover. And so he's a phenomenal individual. And Pam, what I didn't realize is because people pass you along. Oh, you got to meet Rodney. He'll be great for you guys. What are you working for? Excellent. What are you guys trying to accomplish? Yeah, great, Rodney. That's good. But because of that, I never really had to build up a package, presence, media kit, speaker one sheet. I mean, so many different.
Speaker reel, a real good speaker reel.
A real good speaker reel, multiple different types of looks in photo shoots, right? Because when somebody brings you in on their own reputation and says, hey, here's a great guy, you have that in-person capability to make that impression, right? And so I was good at that. And I know how to share that and show other people how to tap into it for themselves, because all of us do it a little bit differently, but we can all do it authentically. So that's great. Well, what I did not know is I was not yet polished enough to go to the next level.
That's it. That's it.
And meaning, yes, ready, set, go. Being a part, going through the modules, getting on our calls, hearing my colleagues that are also in the program about it inspires ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gives me questions that I didn't know I have. And so, y'all, I'm so surprised that Pam Perry allowed me to come here, because I bothered this angel so much. I sent her email.
I saw the potential. I saw the potential because I knew, well, one, it was pure in your heart. So I always say that when people have that pure in the heart, they have to, and all of my clients in the membership program and clients, I love them. I love them. They're friends. I mean, that's one of the things about owning your own business, that you can kind of pick and choose who you want to work with. And so Rodney was one of the ones where it's like, he has it. He has the it. Okay. He has the it, but people don't know enough about him. Yes. And so when I look at, I think we were on the back of, was it the cover for this one here?
Yes.
Okay. When I see Simon Bailey, I also see you. You could do the same thing as Simon Bailey. Yes. Looking at it, and now that you're going through the modules, looking at Simon Bailey's website, looking at his speaker reel, looking at this and that, it's like, well, why can't I do what Simon T. Bailey does? Mm-hmm. I'm Rodney C. Burris. I have the same message, but it's the packaging. It's the packaging, and then really just being connected to people that say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, because I know Simon T. Bailey as well. When he first started out, was not where he is, but he had to meet certain people, and I would meet him and I would say, you need to talk to this person, you need to talk to that one, you need to talk to Dr. Stacia Pierce, you need to, those are the type of things that people don't realize that are under the radar.
Yes.
The people sharing, people who, if people like you, they will share with you and they will help.
Correct. And I didn't know that. So I want to share you guys a little funny story, right? This is something that I learned in the Ready, Set, Go program, Ready, Set, Go Speak program. So Pam gives us challenges. And so every month it's like, hey guys, I want you to get a photo shoot done. Hey guys, I want you to get on some podcasts. I want you, whatever it is, right? There was a media challenge and there's different ones. And all of them, for me personally, it sparks in me this desire to view myself differently, right? Mm-hmm. As opposed to being the great relationship guy, I want to be the phenomenally packaged and media ready guy. I want to fully embrace who I believe myself to be, because I believe I'm global right now. I believe that my message is for all of us in a way that I learn, we share, we grow, right? And so because of that, I want to walk in what that looks like, because prior to now, I had no idea. So Pam gave us the challenge to get on some podcasts, right? And so in the Ready, Set, Go Speak program, there's modules, right? So we learn, like, we got to watch some videos and fill out these worksheets. And so sometimes I take screenshots. I'm like, Pam, I'm doing my homework, right? And I'm trying to figure this stuff out. So I'm going through, and I learned a bunch out of the modules about how to pitch yourself to people who want guests, right? They want people to come on. They want people to share the message and the vision and are like-minded, but there's a way to do it. I didn't know that I didn't know this, if that makes any sense, right? And so one of the things that I've learned is how to package who I am, mirror it to who they are, and then give it to them in a way that they're like, yes. And that's what you want. You want them to look at your email, your pitch, your package, your personality, And yes, like that's exactly, you're exactly who we're looking for. I learned this out of the module from our challenges and Ready, Set, Go, Speak. And so if Pam doesn't mind, I'm gonna tell you what I learned. So one of the things I learned is your subject line needs to stand out, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody has, I want to be a guest or something like that. Perfect opportunity, whatever it is. They get 100 of those, right? And if it's a really successful show, they get way more than 100 of those, right? Not even being figurative. And so something about you in the inbox kind of needs to stand out, right? So that's the first thing. So you want to have something that's quirky yet professional, that speaks to what they want and who you are, all in 5 to 7 words, right? I learned that out of the module. So
not 8 or 9, 10, 12 paragraphs.
Right, real quick. And so I have a book about breaking cycles, right, in building better habits. And so I took like a couple of words out of that and what they are, and I talk about falling off the bike, and they're like, what? And so it's been really cool. So for example, there's this podcast where the host, so you have to, if you don't already follow these people, if you want to do this, right, for those of you that are trying to pitch to any media, whether you're trying to do magazines, whether you're trying to do podcasts, whether you're trying to get on TV, whatever it is, right, this is what I've learned from Ready, Set, Go, Speak. And if you like this, I encourage you to jump in here with us, right, and just kind of learn what you may not know you didn't know, and come with us, because we need more folks like us doing what we do, right? So my subject line is, I fell off my bike and, right? And it's like, what? And so one of them is, there's this gentleman by the name of Bruce Langford. He has a huge podcast, millions of downloads, and his podcast is called Mindfulness Mode. Right. Mm-hmm. And so my subject line said, I fell off my bike and lost my mind. What? And so it makes you like, what? Because he hears mind, he thinks about mind and mindfulness all the time. And so it was one of the ones that clicked on it. And then the rest of the body of my email, the very first thing I say is, I believe that our conversation we'll have a great one, and that is going to help you get a lot more listeners.
There you go.
That's what the openings. Go ahead,
that's what they want. That is it. It is not about how great we're going to promote you, how that if you get on your show, you'll get more opportunities. If you get on my show, you'll be famous. No, they want to know. They want to tune into WIFM. What's in it for me?
So
immediately.
Punch, right? I think that we're going to have such a great conversation that the listeners are going to tell other listeners about it. I literally say that almost verbatim, right? Feel free. That's the first thing. The second thing is I talk about them and how great they are, right? So I go through their website, but here's the deal. Pam just said that the people that she allows into her small circle, she loves us, right? And she gets to kind of pick and choose. Like, I think this one could be close. And well, that authenticity works in all circles, right? And so when you're going through their website or you're listening to their shows, you pick out things that resonate with you in a way that you can talk about, not in a way that sounds like stick and plug, because that comes across as flimsy, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to honestly connect. You want to honestly build rapport. And so I spend the time, and you got to kind of spend the time, and I read through who they are, and I read their about section, and I read those things, and then I realize we got so much in common.
Yes.
Highlight that.
Yes.
And yes. Then go ahead. Oh, I thought you.
And it is easy it's easier to talk to someone.
Yes.
When you have something in common with them, it's easy to really approach someone when it's like, I really like what you do.
Yes.
I see what you do. I really, because you have that excitement.
Right.
Like, I really need to be. I saw that show that you did and such. I really need to be on there because I can add to. You have that kind of kind of like what we and Sharon were talking about. You're networking with them.
Yes.
But you're making it known that you're not just there to make yourself
right. An opportunity for yourself.
Right.
You're there to connect. And so all of us, neurologically speaking, so here's my little smart guy moment, right? Okay. all of us have what's called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons trigger in our brain when we see something that resonates with us and we reflect it. And that's what you want that email, that message to be. I see me and you. We are mirroring each other's energy, opportunity. And so as we go through that, and then my last thing is, I just want to add to that. I'm already doing this. You're already doing this. I'm sorry. You're already doing this. I just want to add to the momentum. Here's my speaker one sheet. How great does this sound for an upcoming episode?
I like that. You leave it open-ended. How great does that sound? Absolutely. I saw that and I was like, that is it. And then the speaker one sheet was tight and right? So they know. I'm gonna see if I can share really quick the screen. I'm gonna show I'm gonna show your Instagram.
Yes.
And that, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
I see
right now, this is Rodney was featured on Get Off the Cycle and Run with Rodney C. Burris on mindfulness mode, right? Episode number 627. So dude been doing a lot of podcasts, right? So that's why he gets a lot of that's why he gets a lot of downloads and things like that. But he had to have a good picture because not only is the brand Mindfulness Mode podcast, but it also reflects on him if Rodney's picture is good, right? So that was one of the things. And I'm looking at your Instagram; it's pretty good. I appreciate it. I look at this. I was like, look at this. I was like, oh my God, I just love it. I said, look at this. It's a come up. It
was. So before this, guys, my Instagram page was a bunch of, oh Lord, I'm embarrassed. Don't make me embarrassed. So it was a bunch of selfies and it was a bunch of.
It was one picture on there I told you to take off. I said, what is it? Pants hanging off the butt. I said, what is it? I said, you're an international speaker?
What?
How am I gonna know that with your pants hanging off your butt? Right?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes. So
I know, because people think I could post that this is me, this is my authentic me, but it is your authentic you, but you have to position it so that people who don't know you get a good feeling about you before you really get to know you.
All they know about us. And I knew that, right? But what I didn't know is how to structure it. So what I learned in the modules, right, and just listening to my colleagues is how to structure, how to have variation and also consistency. So instead of picture after picture after picture of myself, right, what about myself and what am I thinking about? And Pam, I just didn't know this stuff. And so I'm internally grateful. Pam Perry, and I'm talking about you as if you're not here, but so what? This is my moment to shine. I have been introduced to relationships, to opportunities, and to skill sets that I didn't know I had, and relationships I didn't even know I could have. And it's through being humble, right? Because can I be honest with us? When you are an entrepreneur, when you are a trainer, when you are a presenter, when you are in a position where people gain from who you are, what you have to give, it sometimes can lead us to think we got what we got it already, right? Yeah, I can learn a little bit, but I'm Mr. Dr. Reverend Sister, Brother such and such, right? And so because that's who we are in the world in most circles, sometimes we're not as open, or at least myself.
No, you are saying it correctly. And my PR colleagues and I, we talk about this sometimes, and we do PR and marketing for people, and we want them to shine.
Yes.
But at a certain point in time, we feel like we've made Frankensteins.
Yeah.
That we've created some monsters, because now at this point, they are beyond themselves, and they're they're believing the hype, girl. They believe in all the hype. And it's like, and we can't even get to them because they believe in the hype. It's like, so humility is a big part of it. The people that are the most, just like this one, like, so say for instance, Judge Melania Lloyd, and you were on the back cover of this, and even like Simon, the quality that people are going to remember the most is about how grateful and how much humility they have. Even though she's a judge, she's been a judge for almost 30 years. She has done entertainment law with the Motown stars.
Wow.
She modeled, she was on PBS doing swinging time. I mean, just a lot of stuff in her.
Yeah.
She could be like walking around like, oh, I'm all that.
Uh-huh.
But the reason why she continues to get all of the media and shine and the favor is because she is humble. That's one of the things. No one wants to work with a diva.
No. Or Devo, as I've heard that term. Devo.
Or Devo, right?
Guys out there.
Like,
I want to listen and I want to learn. And I want to understand that there's always another step, right? There's always something else. Somebody, Pam, that I look up to, his name is Daryl McCoy. Daryl McCoy has been like a father figure when I was in my teenage years. He was right there through a lot of my process. And he said, it's a sneaky, he said this, but he said, it's a sneaky curse word. And I was like, what's that? And he said, I'm grown. And I was like, and he said, he was like, everything in life changes and grows, everything. And he said, when you get to the point where you are grown, that literally means you've stopped growing, you've stopped living. So and he was like, so we got to be careful about throwing around simple phrases that literally inhibit on a subconscious level our mindsets, our receptiveness, and our ability to continue on. So I just changed the end of that word. Yes, I am an adult, but I'm not grown. I'm growing. And that process, that ing, that small little change, subconsciously hits our brains, and it makes us receptive to the Pam Perrys of the world that can come into our lives and plant seeds and do a little bit of watering and open a door. And then because I'm growing and I understand this process, she was like, Rodney, I want you to do this homework. Y'all, I do 50-11 things. I'm in and out of town. I'm in and out. Pam, we didn't tell them.
You're doing stuff outdoors.
Yes, I'm doing stuff in the mountain for people. I'm going to Ghana, doing a 10-day speaking tour in the country of Ghana later on this year. My birthday month, September. So
yes.
Doing that stuff and then having somebody say, hey, Rodney, I got some homework for you. And I want you to do this. I could be like, I'm grown.
But remember, Michelle Obama's book was I Am Becoming. ING. So ING. She is still becoming. I am becoming. So she could, she's a first lady. It's like, she could definitely say, I'm grown, I'm done. But no, I am becoming. And it's the ING. It is. It's the minute you stop moving forward, you just stop. You die.
That's it. Sharks are like that, Pam.
Yes.
Sharks
that's my favorite analogy. It is my favorite analogy, sharks, because if they stop, they die.
They die. They can't breathe. We lose access to life.
Yes.
And so I desire to continue, not only just to keep moving, but to be ushered, to be shepherded, to learn, to be a student. Because as I learn more and more how to be a better student, as a giver, it informs my training. It informs my workshops. It informs my presentations. So just think, I've been doing this since 2005, which is a nice length of time. It's not forever. What if I was giving people the same content, structured the same way as the early 2000s?
You would not be sitting here.
There wasn't even smartphones when I started doing this.
Yes.
My first couple of directions were printed on MapQuest. printed on MapQuest. Life has changed. And so I have to be open to growing.
Now, what about this website?
My website, RodneyCBurris.com.
Did you change it? When did you change it?
Okay, so
because the first website wasn't like this.
The first website was not like this. My first website had very fuzzy pictures on it.
I'm going to share a little bit of it. Go on and talk.
It was a single page, which is fine for getting started, right? But it was very word heavy, And it didn't have no brightness like this. And so my team and I literally talked about all of the stuff that you guys see. Nothing on my website was moving like this. I wasn't smiling like this.
How you can help. I mean, just give me the navigation. Do you need a speaker? Do you need a coach? Or let me host? I mean, it just goes right there. It has the only thing that that I say that I would like you to add, and I say this on all the time, is your lead capture. Are you building your email list?
So it is way down at the bottom.
Okay. So we ain't got that big of attention span. If I don't see it right away, so you wanna bring that up to the top.
Yes.
Not just send me a message, but also too just say, hey, here's the first free chapter of my book, or here's something that I want to give you for free, just to help you, get off the fence or keep going in the cycle, whatever it is. But you want
to. So Pam, so my book right there, not this one, not that one. That's the beautiful part. I said, go up a little bit more. Go up.
This one here?
No, go the opposite direction.
Oh, this one here.
Yes. Okay. So that is full of all sorts of Rodney stories, true life stories from my life.
Get off the cycle and run.
About breaking habits. But I have a smaller version. So that's this version right there on the website. But this version, Pam just mentioned about getting something for free. So what I want to do, and I've been doing this recently, this is a much easier read. A lot of the little stories about it, I've taken out, right? It's just the principles, the bullets, like the 1, 2, 3 about this and the 5 steps to this. And so if that's something that's of interest to you guys about breaking a cycle, about, making things happen, for people that say that they watched our show, Pam, and they're connected to you or anything like that, I want to give them that book for free. So how about starting off this whole free gift that you just talked about?
Yeah.
Let's start. Let's do it. I'm about action. I am about.
Oh, good. So if they go to Rodney C. Burris and put in the down at the bottom, or just go there and just say, hey, I heard Rodney on the Pam Perry podcast, get out there and get known, then they get that free. There you go. I love that. Oh, I love that. I love mini books anyway. This is Dr. Geneva's mini book right here. It's like a little mini book. It's 52 tips on how to do leadership tips.
Isn't that fun? Mini books make you because you accomplish it. Like you do it.
Stuff like and Ready, Set, Go, Speak. This module, it's a module in there on how to do a mini book. It's already in there. Yes, it's a lady that actually does it, and she does it for you, but she tells you exactly how to repurpose your mini books and that sort of thing. And that was my first book, was actually a mini book.
Mini book.
It was 115 PR tips on how to brand your ministry. Wow. And that was my first mini book. I sold like over 1,000 of those. That was way early in 2000. Wow. But it's one of those things where you can put in a number 10 envelope, send out a mail, and the speaker, conference speaker will know exactly what it is that, that you're about. And, it's a lot of times speakers don't have time to write a lot of books. And so they just feel real.
Yes.
I said, don't shame yourself. Get a mini book. Okay.
Mini book.
It's like you've given a lot of speeches. I'm sure you have content. Let's just put it in a way that's easy for you right now. Let's put it in there. It's easy for you. So that's one of the main things I always tell people. But I love your new website. I love the fact that, you even have the publications on there. One of the things that when we are doing social media, because your social media is on the come up, and that is really good. Yes. So we're doing Facebook, we're doing Clubhouse, we're doing Instagram, we're doing Twitter. So one of the things, so say for instance, you go to you're on Clubhouse or you're on this podcast, you say, hey, go to rodneycburris.com, click on the link. You'll be able to, download my free whatever, give me your email and I'll send you whatever.
Yes.
Clubhouse, the same thing. It's like, hey, you can only go to Instagram and Twitter. So it's like, here, pinned on my Twitter is my link to get my free whatever, or pinned on my Instagram in the bio is whatever. So you're growing the list. And the reason why I say you grow the list, because people who come to your website and get on your list are the ones that are going to be listening to you on a regular. You are sending a personal email. Well, you can say, hey, I just dropped a video. Hey, I'm going live. Or, hey, join me on Clubhouse. Or, hey, what about the Grammys yesterday? Or I sent out a video yesterday. It's like, hey, it's my anniversary. Dougie Fresh is dropping.
I saw his congratulations. I watched that.
I was like, Dougie Fresh is doing the wedding beats, So it's just like they're your friends that you email. So you want to make sure, because eventually maybe in your email, you'll say, hey, send, reply back Give me your phone number. We'll set up a call. I mean, so
Nice.
the
Yes.
social is only to draw people to the website, and the website needs to convert into emails, because a lot of people that come to your website the very first time may not buy the book, may
Right.
not book you, may
Right.
not, do a whole lot of stuff, but they will continue to get the email. And so you
Nice.
can automate that as well. So that's the only thing. Other than
I'm
that,
learning. That's my next to do to gain that.
yes. Yes. And I always tell people, I said, if you could use something like Active Campaign, which is what I use, or I use Active Campaign. MailChimp is okay. Aweber is okay. I use that sometimes as well, but I won't use something like Constant Contact. That's a little bit too dated now. Just like you said, like we don't do the same things we did in 2005 that we're doing in 2021. So you have to know what's current, but it works as a CRM, a customer relationship management system.
Gotcha.
So that's why you use it. So you'll see different people that will come on, and when they come on, where they live, what they click on, what they're interested in, and then you could segment them, and you could just send them different information. So a lot of that too. Also, if you tell people to go to your website, this is getting a little bit deeper, but you can retarget them as well. So maybe they didn't buy anything the first time, but then maybe if they go to Instagram, you can retarget. And you know how sometimes if you go to a website and you go on your social media, Facebook or whatever, and it's like, why is this ad following me? How did they know I was interested in couches? And you're retargeting. So you can retarget people who've come to your website, may not book you, but then maybe you can do a retargeting into Facebook or Instagram.
This is what I'm talking about.
And then that way they'll keep seeing your ad, like, well, let me just go on and get his book. I keep seeing his book. It keeps following me all over the internet. And so, even though they didn't buy it on your site, but you can retarget that. And that's very inexpensive to do. Very inexpensive to do.
But these are things that I don't know that I don't know. Like I don't even, this is a knowledge set that I wasn't even aware of.
Yeah. Well, you're like the content creator. So you're the star. And so there's people around you that will help you. So the Ready, Set, Go, Speak is a membership community because we talk about this stuff. Kiera and Sierra, all of us, it's like, okay, you need to do the blog. So, okay, let's help you with the blog. You need to do this, and for everybody has a different way of doing things. Some people have more preference to doing video. Some people have a preference to doing podcasts, whatever. But whatever fits for you, do it consistently so that people will know you're there. To get out there and get known. I mean,
get out there and get known.
Known. That's it. I mean, if you're not going to get out there and get known, what's the whole point of you setting up all these systems and doing all this kind of stuff or whatever? Because you have to be a person that is going to be of service. And then that service is a help. You, one of my clients, Nicole Roberts Jones, says you are the answer to someone's prayer. So she has an event called Be the Answer. So she's Be the Answer means you're the answer to someone's prayer. So you have to get out and get known. So you got to be the answer. Be the answer, and just step into your power. I always tell them, just step into your power of how you want to show up. You have your book, you have a podcast, you have your social media. I connected you. Hopefully, you connected with Michelle McKinney Hammond, so that you are when you go to Ghana that you can.
And she's a superstar, Pam. The number of people.
She is. She's so humble. She's so humble. Oh my God, Michelle. We didn't even go into her career before she really became an author of 40 books. She really was in advertising, and she was one of the superstars in an advertising agency in Chicago. Chicago's known for advertising, and she did all of that kind of stuff and wrote copy. I mean, she was, like seriously had a career. Then she started writing the Christian books and became 40. She was like 40 books in, and then God took her to, now she's doing the music and obviously doing the acting and all of that. But you would love her.
Well, I'm already set up to meet with her. So I got to do one more shameless plug. This is another gratefulness that I have, guys, about Pam Perry, right? So she doesn't know I'm doing any of this stuff, but I'm just taking liberties. And here's another one. Pam seems to know some of the biggest wigs out. If you guys look at, for example, just the people that have been on the cover, Les Brown and Cheryl Wood and Stephanie Mills and Brandon O's and Kim Coles.
I love Kim Coles. She's spoken at Ready, Set, Go, Speak.
She did. So I was just about to say, when Kim Coles, that's Sinclair, guys, off Living Single, when she was a part of our little small group, Pam, I took a screenshot. I took a screenshot and I texted my circle, my close friends. I was like, guys, I am on a Zoom call with Pam Perry and Kim Coles. Like, it just blows my mind. And so,
but you see one of the things that you just said. She is very humble. She is very grateful. She's just sweet.
Kim is a great individual. And these are the things that I have gotten access to.
And Cookie Johnson.
Oh, Magic Johnson's wife. I literally told, so I have a friend of mine.
She is so cool. She is one of she's from Michigan. So, she went to Cody, she went to DPS school. So, so we kind of like, this is our girl Cookie, and
wait, Pam, we got to do it. So you live in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you in Michigan? Guys, everybody that lives in the state of Michigan.
Detroit, in the hood.
I remember the first time I met somebody, they were talking about that, and they were like, because Michigan something. And I'm like, what? Why are you pointing to your hand? Nobody does that except for Michigan folk. So that is a very Michigan. They're like, yeah. So
we're in Detroit. The Detroit connections. And so, one of out of all the Speakers Magazine covers, though, the one that I really loved the most was Dr. Ben Chavis.
Okay,
so a lot of people don't know. I say millennials don't know about Dr. Ben Chavis, but he was in prison unjustifiable for like a couple of decades. Oh, wow. Okay, he went as a young man. He marched with Martin Luther King, and he did a sit-in, the Wilmington 10. He did a sit-in, and they were like, you broke the law. Mm-hmm. So he really didn't, but just way back then in the 60s, he went to jail and he stayed there for 10 years. So he got his, was working on his master's, got his PhD, and then comes out, and then he leads the Million Man March with Farrakhan. People just think it was Farrakhan. No, it was Dr. Ben Chavis and Farrakhan together. That was a Million Man March. Now you would think someone goes to jail all this time and they come out mad. I'm just like, I'm not going to do nothing with civil rights. But he's like continually moving like that shark. He's continually moving. He's got a show on PBS, the Chavis Chronicles. He's head of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, which is all the Black newspapers across the country. He's the president of that. I mean, he does so much. And that was probably the one that I just love the most, because so many people don't know.
Yeah. I remember that visual. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so many people don't know his story. And he is the most. He walked with Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay. This is like a serious, like as close as Dr. Martin LutherKing as I could get. I was so excited and to talk to him and to do the story. I mean, Nelson Mandela was his friend, and I'm like, you know what? And then he is just, he interviewed Joe Biden too, not too long ago, before he was president, and all that kind of stuff. So he knows him too. So everybody from Nelson Mandela to
Joe Biden to Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And Perry.
And he's and he was so happy to be on the cover of Speakers Magazine. And I was like, you know what? Because what you do, this is why we do it. And this was in 2020, October. Remember, we had George Floyd, and that was in May. And then we had the Breonna Taylor, that whole thing. And so it was Blackity Black in 2020. I mean, we had Stephanie Mills on the cover. She was talking about, we vote right, and she was like, we got to get out here and vote. So I mean,
I love this.
And so she's not even a speaker, but I feel like as Black people, we got to speak up now. When we gonna speak up?
That's right. And that platform, we got a platform in your magazine. The access that it is, and being able to receive it, and I get my little monthly. Look at that.
Look at Precious. Precious is doing good.
That's the pitch master. I don't know if you guys know Precious L. Williams. If you can take a moment, write her name down, throw it in your search bar, especially on LinkedIn. The tips and tools that she gives to level us up.
She's going to be in the Ready, Set, Go speak. She's going to come in and talk to us about grading our pitches and talking to us about pitches. She's pitched.
How do you know all of these people, Pam? How did you develop this network?
Precious was so funny because I don't remember actually meeting her, but she said she called me a long time ago and we were talking, and then she asked me about her book. at the time that she was thinking about writing. And she knew my company's name was Ministry Marketing Solutions. So I primarily work with, people like TD Jakes, Dr. Insurance. Really work with ministers and things like that. And she says, well, I'm thinking about a book. I said, okay, about pitching. He says, Bad Bitches with Power Pitches. I said, oh, okay. And I said, who is it for? And she told me what her target market. I mean, she was real. She had the clarity. Wow. And I said, okay, well, I'm not your target market. I said, but is that something your target market says to each other? Are they a bad bitch? She said, yeah, every time I come off the stage, and say, ooh, that's a bad bitch. I was like, okay. Well, then they're going to get that book. And she's on the like volume 3 now or whatever. And it's selling. And she was just in like the big commercials with Jennifer Hudson doing that MasterCard commercial and all that. It's like,
she was in that commercial?
Yes. She was part of that. She's part of that whole thing. But it's just staying true to who you are and knowing your target market. And she knows branding. It's part of her. One of the things that she's really good at is that she's fluid with words. So she does do poetic or rapping. And so when you're pitching, it's not just what you do, but how you're delivering it. And so it has that kind of like that Dougie Fresh, know, it's like
Dougie Fresh did such a good job.
La-di-da, la-di-da-di-da,
I loved his rap that he did for you guys.
It's like, oh, I love that. I was like, 6 minutes. I said, oh, this is so
neat. What was that 6 minutes about? Because that was up at the top.
Yeah, 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. That was just like the reframe where they kind of say that in that line.
That's right. Oh, my gosh.
6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. So Mark, my husband, he just hollered because we always say that 6 minutes, 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. This is like, so it's our little thing like, okay, yeah. That's but he amazing. Just did it. When I tell you, people who are talented at what you do, you're talented at what you do, they are excited about it. I sent that to him to do on the 22nd, and on the 23rd it was done in less than a day. It was like, oh no, let me just throw the beats out there, bam, bam, bam. It was like, okay. And he says that Pam Perry, because I had to do it in a hurry. I'm like, oh, and now he naming Perry like Perry and put it
right. That New York accent. New York
accent. That's what it was. I was like, okay, I get it. He didn't say Mark. He said Mark. I was like, oh, okay, that is that. But the thing of it is that he's a brand.
Yes.
He's a brand. You just know that's what he does. He's not trying to sell me cakes and cupcakes. He don't have to, even though his last name is Fresh, he ain't trying to sell me bread. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, he's just staying in your lane. That's what
you made me think of a question. So I have a question. Speaking of a brand, so this coming Friday at 10 a.m. I am going to be having a conversation with a publishing house in London.
Wow. I love it. I love London.
Distributing my book in the whole series.
Yes.
I want to be clear. So a part of that relationship working with them is going to be them having the access to put it in different languages, market it around the broader parts of Europe and those sort of things, setting up signing, meet and greets and those sort of things. But also a part of it is, as I understand the contract, and this is what we're going to clarify on Friday, they're going to get a certain ownership rights to the book. And that makes me nervous, Pam, to be honest with you, because from the cover to the commas, to the dots, all of that comes out of my heart. Every single one of so I keep looking over here, but that's because I have a whole series about this stuff, right? This is a workbook, and it's full of charts and graphs, and I did all of this. Like I did every bit of it on the laptop that I'm talking to us on right now.
Ownership is everything. Ownership is everything. I'm from Detroit.
Yes.
Barry Gordy. Ownership is everything. Okay. You could be really excited and have the stars in your eyes, but you have to own it.
Okay.
Digital ownership, owning your own, this ownership. So never, ever, that is your IP. Okay. I think in our Ready, Set, Go Speak program, I want to make sure that you talk with Darcel Walker. He's an IP attorney. Intellectual property is very important. Just hit him up in there and just really talk to him really quickly about that, because ownership is everything. We don't ever want to give that up. That's all we have. That's really what that's our intellectual property. So I'm not an attorney, but I know, what happened in Motown with a lot of those young kids that was like, oh, I'm just so happy to be, here's my song. And then it's like, oh, but you didn't own it. Okay. Well, I didn't, I was just so excited to be there. No. You want to own it. So that's the main thing. So I'm just so excited for you because there's so much more that's going on with you that I could just see it. I want you to get on more podcasts, more TV.
Yes.
I want to see you on CNN. It is your time.
It is my time. I'm on another show tonight. Something called Gift and a Gift. I am doing another one tomorrow, and then I'm getting on a plane actually early in the morning. Then I'm flying to Houston because I have to speak at a conference. So I'm going to talk about how CPR relates to leaders giving inspiration to their team members. So kind of like just the very simple parallels between those three letters, CPR, and how we can create promise and realities. So I'm going to do that in Houston. And yes,
make sure that if you can, maybe see if Dr. Cynthia Hickman, she's in Houston, and she's in. Yes, she's in Houston, so she can come if it's open for the public. She would love to support you. It is okay. So if it's open to the public, please allow her to come so that she can take pictures of you, or maybe video, because you know how I'm a real bear about getting video. Right? It's like let her maybe take pictures of you. Give her your phone so that she knows.
Yes, so we have something. You want to know a secret about Dr. C.J. Hickman and I? So when I first met you, Pam, Brian introduced you to like BSN for me. That was my first introduction to Pam Perry. And so we were on there, Dr. Hickman and I, in some way, somehow we private messaged each other. And she was like, Rodney, are you thinking about doing this? And I was like, I think that I need to join Ready, Set, Go. Like Ready, Set, Go speak. Something about this is speaking to me. And she was like, I'm thinking about it, but I'm just kind of hesitant. And so I left there knowing that I was going to join, right? And at the time, COVID was making money kind of funky and stuff like that. But I was like, you know what? I want to do it. I want to commit. I remember the first private group that I got on, and I saw her in there. And every time she and I get on at the same time, we have a little private chat.
Oh, okay.
We just encourage each other like, hey, it's so like when I see her, I like everybody that's in a part of our group. But seeing Dr. Hickman, knowing that she was thinking about it and struggling, and then the way her profile has come up.
Talk about the come up. Yes. She has come up.
That life, and I'm like, wow, I can do this. And she already had a successful career. She's a doctor. She was already doing good. But she got in here and leveled up. And that is such a phenomenal example for me that if somebody that is as established as Dr. Hickman can still get in here, get benefit and level up, the sky's the limit for all of us. I tell so many people about you, Pam. I probably owe you some sort of like big, huge royalty. I talk about the fact that I know Pam Perry. I do videos about you. Like
thank you so much. I appreciate that. One thing I'm gonna tell you about Dr. Hickman really quick.
Yes.
She texted me one day and she said, she says, I'm learning a lot. She says, I feel like I'm doing the night crashing or doing burning the midnight oil like I did in college. Now she has a PhD. And so I'm like, she says, I feel like I'm burning the midnight because she knew there was a lot she didn't know in this area. And she said, I'm burning the midnight oil. She says, I'm watching the videos. I'm listening to this. I'm downloading the PDFs. She says, I'm reading the books. And I was like, I feel like I'm burning the midnight oil. And I said, well, just, you don't have to do it all. It's a membership program. So it's not like it's a beginning and an end. You can stay here for as long as you want. So it's continual. It's always going to grow. I'm going to add information in here continually. I said, but just know you don't have to do it all like in the first month. So one of the things is like, she says, I'm getting on different podcasts and things like that. And I was like, she has, because her message is clear.
Yes.
Proactive caregiver.
Yes.
Who needs a caregiving? Everybody needs caregiving help. So that's her main thing. So she's in Houston. So make sure that you two, when you get on that plane tomorrow, before you go on there, it says, hey,
I'm gonna message her when we wrap up, I'm going to message her and say, guess the good news that I just heard. And at the very least, if we can't do anything but grab a small bite or some coffee, whatever it is.
Social distancing, because she's an ex-nurse. So she's going to make sure that it's going to be a social distancing thing, because she don't play with that. She does that.
And cover and all that stuff. But I'm so looking forward to more learning from you, Pam. Pam, you have been media. So Pam tells us, guys, that she's like a media angel for us. When I think about an angel, there's a story that I learned as a child about a guy who wasn't feeling too well, but he believed that he could get better, and he would sit by a pool, and every day, you know, an angel would come and would make the waters kind of like receptive for healing. And the first person that jumped in and kind of took advantage of that opportunity, they got healed, they got better. And so the angel did that. The angel brought that opportunity for growth, for healing. And that story, every time I hear Pam say she's like a media angel for us, I think about two aspects. One, you got to get in the pool, right? There's this opportunity. Pam just said, Rodney, it's your time. And I appreciate that. But you know, also, guys, what I heard is, if I don't like double dutch, right? Jump in and take advantage of the momentum, I could be sitting back in 2 or 3 years from now, like, if only. That's not my story. That's not my story. And then the second thing I heard is, with the relationship with this angel, right? And for that guy and for me, there's a healing, there's a growth aspect to it. And so Pam's never heard me share that story. Every single time you write and or say media angel for us, that whole imagery.
Wow. That is so cool. That's one of my favorite stories too. That's one of my favorite stories, because the angel did not push him in the pool.
None of us.
He just stirred the waters. And it's like, you gotta get in there. So those that are activators, they'll do it. And I always say, you know, I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself, but I do want it for you, but you need to want it more for yourself.
I believe that I have a message that can help. I believe that I can help truck drivers. I believe that I can help daycare workers, because all of this is about internally tapping in to what we have and blossoming it out, right? Yes. That's what it's all about. And all of us got that seed within us. All of us do. And so it just needs to be activated. Pam Perry has activated it for me. And I just want to kind of share that.
And people can go to RodneyCburris.com and get that free gift, okay? Because he's going to show you how to really do that. There we go. Get off the cycle. Emerald.
Thank you so
All righty. Thank you so much, Rodney. This went a little bit longer, but it was so good because you're so inspiring. You really are. And reading your bio at the beginning of where you started, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So, you know, just thank you so much for just pushing through.
Yes.
Pushing through and really making sure that your message is known. All right. So thank you. All right. I am Pam Perry. Make sure that you read the show notes when you go to PamPerryPodcast.com and all the things that we talked about. There'll be a lot of links, a lot of pull quotes on there. So you may want to click the tweet, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you go to PamPerryPodcast.com. I am out. Thanks for joining us. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com, where you help you shine like a superstar.